brought the kettle to make tea. I just want to acknowledge that obviously, like, what comes to mind is that, like, island where occasionally missionaries go, Christian missionaries, and they'll just get killed because stay the fuck away from that island. They're doing their own thing. Like, I guess there's an important difference between a culture, because I still, like, when I think about that island, I think those people are dying really, really young, probably because they don't have technology. That's true of all these tribes, and obviously I don't want people to go to like Aboriginal tribes and be like, nah, put on a suit, do stuff out. Like, I get that, but like, there's a difference between a culture and a cult, and I appreciate that those has the same root word there. Like, I know it's a slightly more complex subject than I might be going, just don't let them kill themselves, maybe, but like, yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that. There's a little bit more to it, but...
Willing servants. And this was his will. The ultimate expression of it.
All right. I'd like to know this man's name, Cyril. To know the names of all the Undying who've fallen in the line of duty. They died serving my house. It's only right that I remember them. That is my duty.
Of course. I shall fetch the Book of Martyrs at once. My lord, it has been, and shall ever be,
my honor?
the greatest honor of my life to serve House Rosfield. Though our duties may differ, yours is no less important. I pray with all my heart for your success. And were they here, I have no doubt but that every one of my fallen brothers and sisters would feel the same.
I want them to have a really silly name like Whammy Giggle Flex. And I shall remember Whammy Giggle Flex gave his all. We have the Clay Hearth signboard and some orichalcum. So that's a good enough reason to return. That we are not done. Quick, get out, Wisebound! And they opened my mind. That apparently got me a trophy. No, we want to use the fucking sword.
Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
It was no trouble at all. Clive, you're back. How'd you get on? Any luck?
Any luck, you say?
People of the north suffer chocolate with similar good fortune and may side of one, potentially meaning the difference between failed harvest and a bumper crop, according to Gav at least.
Crystal's crack. Is this what I think it is? Where in the hell did you find it?
It's a long story.
Answer birds.
Right there on the road to Eastpool. Who'd have thought it?
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter. Though I fear my presence may have forced the poor creatures to look elsewhere.
They'll come back.
Yourself, Clive. The blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before long, even if you hadn't have turned up. They'll find a new home. Trust me. After all, that's what us endangered animals do.
No, some of them die.
What matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about me. Like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with a sword. And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with. What did you say it was from again? An Avis?
But it weren't your Avis, Sid. I slew one of my own at last.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit. I'm proud of you, Ember.
Oh, it was like 20
Don't
minutes.
speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go. What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
Oh, will I?
He's got a cap.
Should go and see if Ed is awake.
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself. Come on.
No, hang on. We'll do this later. I'm just here for the sword.
Trouble with your gear, or... What's Sancfordian, dear?
If Ragnarok was forged to mark the War of the Gods, then Gotterdammerung, meaning Twilight of the Gods, was forged to mark the fall of those self-same deities.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
Do you want to reinforce it?
And? So what do I owe the honour?
About Origin.
Crack the crystal?
Kill a god, save the world, am I missing anything? Pretty much the plan.
Not a very good one.
If you ask me.
Then,
I can't say I've had much practice killing gods. Now, forging a kit to kill a god might be able to help you with. Reckon it's the least I can do after you give all you've given us. That's more than enough. And you thank me when you get back.
see that sword of yours stays oiled.
Yeah, I'll do... Oh, there's 2 fucking quests. We'll do them later. We'll do them last. I do appreciate there's still at least 1 more mark. Sure. But we're getting there. I may have been saying that for like an hour now, but we're getting there.
Good girl.
Fast!
Doris is waiting for me near Balmung Dark. The longer she's out in the open, the more likely she is to be found by a Kashik. I need to hurry.
Oh shit, you should have said that earlier. Running out of options. Who's that? The Lich. The normal...
Caution, brother.
Just the innocent Lich. Oh, it's a new area again.
I can walk from here. There were no guards, I take it.
None manning the gates. No, it's a different.
Ah, that was a crap place to pause. Sole surviving nation. I was trying to cut it between the line. Shortly after the death of Barnabas Thammer, scion of the Zemeckis, Catspor of Ultima. What? Trick's head was shattered, leaving the capital and stone here without Love Crystal and King. I'm just grabbing my cup of tea. Right.
Story inside, though. The corridors are crawling with Akashic. Most likely guards left behind when the Wardens ran. If Chadwick was being held here, I worry that he may already be.
Don't give up hope just yet, but let's move quickly. Let me check the ground floor. The ether stick is there.
Then I'll search the upper level. Good luck, Sid. Stay safe.
So I was just thinking about those zombies.
Just how bad are the floods inside the walls? Bad enough to turn a bearer? I hope not. We're risking a lot just being here. Better keep...
So I didn't realise it would interrupt him.
locked up tight.
Kingdom of Werlud hereby designates this facility a prison for the detainment of bearers, both foreign and domestic. The purpose of this facility is to rear and train a Kuza beast for deployment in the field. The aforementioned purpose of the matter is strictest secrecy, and the mention of thereof is to be punishable by death. Captive bearers have been provided solely for the pursuit of the aforementioned purpose. Express permission is required to use any of the bearers in any other capacity.
So this place was no ordinary prison, and I doubt they'll have taken the creature with them when they fled.
Kuza have long been recognised as an especially aggressive species. This being the case, it was hoped the successful deployment on the battlefield might be a means of inflicting heavy casualties on the enemies. In exercises conducted thus far, however, the beast has proven incapable of distinguishing between allied and enemy combatants. As such, deployment alongside regular troops is not recommended. It is proposed instead the bearer captors be employed in order to draw the enemy focus. Beasts are then driven into the fray in order to achieve maximum benefit, minimal loss of Waluda lives.
Minimal loss of Waluda lives. And what happens when they run out of bearers? Even the Imperials take better care of their branded than that.
Just gonna turn the mic. Recent supply shortages left us with insufficient resources to feed Kuza entrusted in our care. Fortunately, the creature was observed to kill and consume the bearers, assigned to fight beside it in a mock battle conducted as a part of its training. The beast was further observed to enter a state of visible contentment upon feeding in this way, suggesting that light bearers may be its preferred source of sustenance. While this behaviour is unexpected, it's not unwelcome. Bearers no longer used for training purposes can now be repurposed as required.
They were feeding bearers to it. This is even worse than I'd feared. Nothing but a caching down here. Hopefully things are looking better upstairs. I should go and see how Doris is getting on. No lock downstairs. But I did find out that this place was more than just a prison. Something far more sinister was happening here.
I know. I've been reading some of these documents and... it can't be true, can it? Bearers die every day in service of their masters, but this is so much worse. Pitting bearers against a wild beast armed with nothing but their wits? And all in order to bring about more death. And not just those who could fight, but the elderly, children even. And those who wouldn't or couldn't were disposed of. Whatever that means.
I'm afraid it means they were fed to the monstrosity they kept here.
Then we're too late. And I was a fool to bring you here.
Don't say that. Did you find anything else?
A key. But it doesn't fit any of the locks on this floor.
Perhaps it will fit one of the doors downstairs. There's a corridor I haven't searched yet. Finish up here, then come and find me when you're ready.
All right. I'll be there in a moment.
The jailer's key. I mean, there's a corridor we've not checked over here either, but... Ah. Quick way down? Oh, it is the quick way down.
Let's see what we can find down here. A survivor. And she sounds close.
Who are you?
There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone? Are there any other survivors?
Some of the guards. They're still here. But something's wrong with them. Everyone else was eaten by the monster.
Of course there were.
Thank the Founder.
It was worth our coming. But I'd rather we didn't linger. Are you ready?
Ready when you are. You poor thing. He must have been terrified.
Did Chadwick send you?
What?
He fought the monster. Distracted it so I could run away. He must have sent you. He promised to free the others too. Where is he? He opened your cell, didn't he? You wouldn't be here otherwise.
Chadwick.
Was that?
Monster's back! Chadwick, help!
We have to get out of here.
Doris, keep the girl safe.
All right. You put that bearer-eating bastard in the ground.
It's out there waiting for me. I can't let it live. Not if it's got a taste for bearers.
How far can it tell the difference? It's a fighting large doggo. Where's the way in? Did I just miss the fucking door? Oh. 'Cause the beast, rank A. Ah.
The beast will wreak havoc if it ever leaves the prison. I can't let that happen. Nice try.
not impressive. There was a chocobo earlier doing this shit. Give those spoils to Victor. And we have another shackle. Bad doggo. Don't put it in the ground, that'll take fucking ages.
Sid, are you hurt?
I'm fine. I think.
Don't look at me. Weird.
No.
He turned into a book.
What is it?
A diary. I gave it to Chadwick before we went our separate ways. He was here. Do you think that creature?
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last. The girl is safe thanks to him.
Chadwick. You fool.
Come on. We have to get her back to the hideaway. We don't want his sacrifice to have been in vain.
I mean, I support Chadwick dying to save that girl. That makes a lot more sense. Like, he can sacrifice himself.
See that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can do.
I mean, you might have been in vain, but like, you know, let her hide and stuff. Probably could have weakened it slightly.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days. I hope she's recovering from her ordeal.
She is. Slowly but surely. She's far tougher than she looks. I thank the flames we found her. If we hadn't...
I know. But we did. I'm sorry we weren't able to save Chadwick.
There's no need to apologize. Without your help, I would never have found out what happened to him. How he fought to the bitter end to save her. To save Haida Marie. That's the man I remember. The man I thought of as a brother.
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past. If you don't mind, that is.
Of course. You already met my former master. She trained Chadwick and I to do two things. Kill and obey. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. But no bid was ever high enough to convince her to part with us. For years, we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts about the things she made us do. And then, one day, we just couldn't do them anymore. So we escaped. But staying together was out of the question. They would have found us too easily. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was always strong. It scared me to think he might have taken another master, become a dagger in someone else's hand.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought were his own. And he died not as someone's tool, but as a hero.
Haida Marie is proof of that. Bearers can cast off their shackles. And the Cursebreakers will show them how. I'll fight until my dying breath to see it done. For Chadwick, and for all of us.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be counting on you.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to that, but also I just realised the doctors were going to phone me up, and I've already dealt with my tooth. So I've cancelled that appointment. I was like, no, I've got to do that now, before I forget again. There is a new mark. Our third behemoth, I hope. Oh, that was a mark as well. Monster born of Dalmung Dark, quite possibly the deadliest beast known to man. Sid, we beg you to slay it. Not only the world might be a safe place, but the bearers who lost their lives to that vile creature might be avenged. To forgive my presumption, but knowing what we do to it, we doubt there are any that could emerge from the cage alive. S. I believe this is the final one. Waluda army captured such beasts, tried to train them to serve, but this particular specimen's training was long since ceased. Whether its captors turned Akashic from the rest of their comrades, like or eaten by their pet, they broke free from its bonds, we'll never know. But all we know is that none is left alive who knows the words to put an end to its rampage. Only show the force will suffice. Do you think it's going to be in exactly the same place? I'll do this first. These two first, even. And we might just walk into it, you know?
Time to fight.
Banana. One of these is just to grab a book, right? Walk around the trees, bird. Oh, fine.
No need to ride from here. This must be the orphanage. Hopefully the registry is still here.
The Kingdom of Waluda hereby incorporates this institution wherein juvenile bearers to be granted the opportunity to give themselves in service to the state of soldiers. Trainees succumbing to the crystal's curse or otherwise perishing are to be disposed of with all haste. Graveyard strictly reserved for the uncursed. Bearer disposal within its bounds is punishable by death.
Disposed of.
So press yard, 20 sandbags, furnace, and live combat.
Conditioning. This is nothing short of torture. Herman wasn't exaggerating. It's a wonder he survived this place. I need to find that registry.
You know what? That might be a good place for a doggo. Actually, there's two places I should obviously look. I know. One of them's probably going to be the quest next, though. So I should probably... Odin. Well, I don't know how to fucking use Odin, so good luck with this. How do I actually use the...
It's over. It's over.
Yeah, I should have saved it for him. Cool. Enceladus. I'm not sure how I did that. I was aiming for the other bit, but... This is the one we went in before already, right? the fuck am I looking for? Litany of errors. Search the conservatory. Oh. No, I'm in the conservatory. Or is this entire place the conservatory? Oh, no, just there, isn't it? I'm an idiot. Yeah. I've recently learned that my own daughter was among the children turned to stone by the brutal training I subjected them to. I had not so much as thought of her since handing her over to the authorities as a babe, but inquiries with the military confirmed it was her. Had I been torturing my own flesh and blood, and now I see her everywhere. Today one of the children smiled at me in the hopes of receiving a few scraps from my table. Her smile, the smile she inherited from her mother, the mother I killed for giving birth to a bearer. Their ghosts have all come back to haunt me, my daughters, my wives, all of them, all those children. So many died at my hand. I can bear the guilt no longer, so I've decided tomorrow I too must die. It will be the last order I give the poor wretches, the last torment I subject them to. I'll command them to tear me from limb, and inter my accursed corpse beside my white tree, whose crooked hands reach into the sky in supplication. Besides from me my shame, my curse, the record of all their names, all I have wronged. Let's exhume...
This reads like a suicide note. Did the director go through with his plan? There's only one way to find out.
I see no doggo here. Looking for a doggo.
This must be the place. Could he really be buried here? There's something hidden among the roots. Let's see. This must be the registry.
It's Hans, 10 years old, lithification. Alfred 9 has come to its conditioning. Franz 12, lithification. I'm not going to read all these, you get the point. Emancipation.
So many names. This place was a slaughterhouse. But where is the architect of all this misery? It was only a matter of time, I suppose. This place is cursed.
I don't know why, I just thought I wouldn't use that big move.
Thanks, Gal.
Oops. I didn't even see fucking dog there. Name of King, Frank S. Well, I found it.
Another one of these guard dogs. Quite a specimen, these two. Yeah, that's better.
Hey, I wasn't paying attention and I was like, I'm taking fucking loads of damage. I love that it was right there and I didn't fucking see it. There was a tiny wall in my way.
There's no turning back.
A new idea. Theme of King is no more. But obviously I
No match for you, eh, Torgal? How would I be without you?
cool.
Come on.
My baby's in love with an 80 feather.
The entire village looks abandoned. Now, which house would a bookworm live in?
One with shells. In the wake of the tragic fire at Cairn event in 873V, subsequent depletion of our most highly practiced intelligences, all mainland strongholds were instructed to redouble training in clandestine maneuvers, improved weaponry, assassination techniques, dispatch promising volunteers sewn here for inspection. This report details progress made by the stronghold at the Garnic, reinvigorating Woolwich ranks and esteemed intelligences.
This is a Royal Army logbook.
E40 of tail of wyvern, white, it's a botany of banes, white flower, black of root, the latter of which gives out the inky gall. When the cattle crushed, Trowson and Northern Storm picked their skin, broken needles soaked in such, drawing curious patterns about their arms and legs, gall of passing intoxicate, single drop taken by the mouth which result cramps most painful for 5 days and 5 nights, applied to a wound, certain death. Should a dip of a slip of a needle end a young warrior's life, had the skin print failed to find a favour among the heavens.
His interests were certainly varied.
I'm interrupting, but folklorist's February, the Moogle. The spirit or sprite appears more often in Valastay and folktales than the humble Moogle, though they are occasionally painted as mischievous souls akin to pixies or imps. Most stories depict them as clumsy yet congenial spirits who delight in helping mankind with their daily labours. They are said to have sweet tooths, leading to the common superstition that one must not leave cakes or other sweetmeats uncovered overnight, lest naught remain but crumbs come morning. In appearance, they are described as being covered head to toe in soft white fur, excepting small dark wings with which they somehow are able to take flight, and the brightly coloured pom-poms which protrude from the tops of their heads. And yet, there is one detail regarding the Moogle that most find more remarkable. It's the orb that tops its brow. It's the fact that creatures actually exist. Preposterous, I hear you cry. Everyone knows Muggles as stuff of legend. I quite agree, but every legend has its basis in truth. In the case of the Moogle, the fact they are not dissimilar to fiction, ancient bestiaries list the white mole whose feet do not touch the ground among the beasts of the realm, and the illustration besides the name, why, it is none other than a Moogle. Of course, it's true the creature is not known to still survive in the twins to the modern day. Perhaps their miniature wings carried them to other climes. Perhaps they were hunted to extinction, or perhaps, just perhaps, they do still live among us, hidden away far from human view. From a distance, we found it! The emergence of the first magic adepts was widely heralded as a gift from the gods. Indeed, the title of which was, with the gift came commonly known as the likely contraction of bearer of the holy heavenly blessing. The wording used by the tribunes at the time that supported the blessing were lauded as living crystals, granted high office, plentiful reward for their status as the chosen ones. Over the years, this reverence for the kind would become a fully fledged religion, led by the bearers themselves. Development that would prove fateful. The divers nation of the times were unanimous in the disapproval of the founding of the church, while authorities had for years welcomed bearers into positions of power, their own structures of state. They were mistrusting of an organisation led by bearers for bearers. Efforts were immediately made to chasten the church and its followers, banning members of the holding office, evicting their adherents from the house, breaking up meeting by force. The church responded by forming a volunteer army to resist the persecution. It continued creating a circle of ever-increasing bloodshed and rancour, a growing rift between those born with the blessing and those without, and what began as beatings in the streets, clashes would eventually spill over into an all-out war that consumed the greater part of the twins for nigh a generation, decimated the population of men and bearers both with the deluge of blood, and stained land crimson, and left an even more lasting mark upon the minds of the Valastean people. The bearers' last resistance was crushed. Nations of Valastea came together to sign the Continental Accord, initiated the system of slavery that persists across the realm to this day. This well-known phrase, bearers of the other human, has its roots in the bitter war of the years before, but being unblessed's only excuse for their calamitous refusal to allow the blessed to decide their own destinies.
This This is it.
We're not done yet.
But if what it says is true, I need to get this back to the hideaway.
Oh yeah, the spies have to take it back.
Leaving so soon, stranger. We've been watching you. From a distance, so to speak.
Subtle. I know who you are.
Then we need not waste time on introductions. Hand me the book. Leave it in our care and return to your life.
Dude, did you just see me defeat that behemoth?
Do you mean to burn it or bury it?
That is not my decision to make. But by one means or another, its contents shall be removed from the common record.
Then I'll have to politely refuse. I won't let you erase our history.
Then we find ourselves at an impasse. Very well. The book can just as easily be pried from your dead hand.
Let's see, shall we?
Oh, I didn't expect the Inquisition. Yeah, easier than a giant behemoth. Strangely enough.
Impressive. But we have other means. We shall claim the book yet.
Why do you want it so badly anyway?
It lays out in no uncertain terms the vanity and avarice of mankind. It tells the shameful history of the persecution and oppression of a gifted few by a giftless many. Would you say that this interpretation was correct?
I don't know.
You don't know. Your sword may be sharp, but your wits are dull. So let me answer for you. There is no correct interpretation of history. That a series of events took place may be proved beyond a doubt. But there can be no single, immutable explanation as to why they came to pass. It is a question of numbers and of belief. If enough people believe that a set of events occurred for a reason, that belief becomes the truth.
So you're trying to control the truth?
We are trying to protect people from themselves, from knowledge that would bring them naught but pain. That is all. You may keep the book, for now. The world is small. We shall meet again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just one continent. Oh, hello, Phoenix.
Wait.
You may have got here just in time.
Damn it.
I might. There's a possibility
Let's get this back to Vivian. Perhaps she can explain what that was all about.
that I finished all the quests. I mean, I've not handed them all in. And it's taken me 3.5 hours to do so, but whatever. So, I mean, there's a bunch of hand-ins. I didn't think it'd take this long, I won't lie. Oh, we're not quite... I think there might be more quests. Whatever! I've returned to the hideout and to the stream. The live stream. No, that's Final Fantasy VII. Glad to be back. And I've got a couple of hours. We still have time to finish games. Hello, Viv.
Vivian. I found it. The book you lost.
From a distance. Oh, I don't have any drinks, but whatever.
You found it.
I'll grab a beverage before I go to the final dungeon.
Even though I asked this of you, I was not entirely sure it would be possible. I feared the executors had seized every copy.
I met with one of these executors, and I convinced him to let me keep it. He told me something. That the truth is just a matter of collective belief. And that if enough people believe a lie, that lie becomes the truth.
It does. But it also means that the truth is not immutable. That it can be changed. Provided that those who wish to change it can convince enough people that their perspective is the correct one. As the sad history of the bearers proves.
You said that the book inspired you to become a scholar.
It did. Or its author, rather. She was a heretic, you see. A firebrand and a dissenter. A gallows stood ready for her in every corner of the realm. And by shunning society, or perhaps being shunned by it, she stumbled upon a truth so potent that an entire realm trembled at the prospect of its utterance. I, too, have always felt somehow set apart from the world of men. A stranger to my own species. She taught me that my solitude was not a curse, but a gift. And that, though my journey to the truth might be a lonely one, what I found at my destination would be more than worth the cost.
Do you still feel that way? That you're not one of us?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure anymore. Since coming to the hideaway, I find my thinking somewhat clouded. Perhaps the result of studying mankind from a rather closer perspective than I had intended.
We found a book.
The more I study, the more I find value in this perspective. In looking not from the outside, but from within. So if you'll permit me, I'd like to continue my work here. Remember, Clive, when enough people believe, belief begets truth. Give the men and women of this benighted world the gift of truth. Make them believe in you, as I do.
I'll try, Vivian. I'll try.
Okay then. I leveled up. Level 48. You have the hat. Proud owner of hat. Give me my stuff, Desiree.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Your benefactors are a generous lot.
I've got a new sale for Brigade, a new role. Every epic starts with a single word. Every symphony a single note. You could start it with 2 notes, couldn't you? Level up. Can't do Sonic's voice. This is the beginning of the Freya. Be your legend told. Freya. So your legacy be sung. Bidden seas.
Here you are. Come again. I may have more for you.
Oh shit! There's another mark. Whoop 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 whoop. I thought the behemoth was the final one. The wailing banshee. I don't mind. I like the marks. Cursebreakers came across the creature while searching for survivors near the abandoned village Garnock. Garnock Waloed, misled by the abomination's appearance, thinking she might be a local woman. They went to offer her help, but as soon as they were seeking something. It's hey, why are they? They're seeking. It's probably the quests. They can hear the screams both of the white and those of the fallen comrades. Okay.
Greetings, Lord Marquis.
Oscar Joshua.
His Grace and I.
Often spoken on travels, a certain saying of his remains with me even now. Bop, beep, tap, jump, boom, bop, skip it down, boom, doom. I never knew what it meant. Duty is the enemy of freedom. All that. This is the other thing he said. I thought that he spoke of his own plight, that he was able to roam the land again. The duty to unearth the truth about Ultima prevented him from being truly free. But I came here to understand that he spoke not of himself but of me.
It's my duty to him.
His Grace judged to be inimical to my own freedom. Easy for her to say. I believe that this is why he bade me remain here, that I might at last be released to my duty to him. You others in this position would allow the cares of a humble attendant to weigh so heavily upon them, not to take such drastic action in response. Mark the origin.
My lord.
You have resolved to go, then?
I am.
So is Josh. I know you fear for him, but I'll do everything in my power to keep him safe.
I do not doubt it.
You've always been his first shield. You can be his second shield if you like. I was only ever his temporary protector. Now his Grace has bade me protect. But why doesn't she get to fight if she's literally, that's her job? And that is what I shall do.
Thank you, Yote.
May you return safely.
My lord, both of you.
Have care, my lord.
Let Yote do. Yote's done fuck all in this game. Let Yote do anything.
Ah, me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is something wrong?
She doesn't even get added to this.
Wrong? No, nothing like that. What it is...
Go on, please. It's beautiful. Did you make it?
We did. It's from all of us here at the Hideaway. Your new family, like. It's a good luck charm. We may come up north when a band's on the way. I mean a baby. To let him know that they're part of the family too. Oh, I hope you like it.
I don't know what to say.
I had to get a feather room.
My lords, for everything.
If there's anything you need, let us know.
I will.
The TV was threatening to turn itself off.
5. Fancy a swift off. I'm thirsty.
I could be convinced.
Yeah, apparently you can buy beer for people in this place. I've never done it. Yeah, that's the last thing I should do before we go. Oh, no, apparently it's just happening anyway.
Don't you think you've had enough?
No, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
No, you're not.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day. My mum told us she was with child again. I was
Gonna put the controller down.
I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over. What with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother.
And a key.
Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. My whole family gone in a blink, while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
You don't have to be like Torgal. Torgal's a literal dog.
Finished.
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout?
Oh, we only got 2.
Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination.
And we only got the second one in the side quest. Like an hour ago.
Be hanging off a cliff like,
Yeah, I have
That was only the once.
Exactly.
very large god powers.
And here you are, after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Probably not a great idea to drink before going on a mission.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword.
I've got like 40 swords. Oh. Clunk. I mean, occasionally a side quest will happen, then it'll go days later, and I'm like, days? Well, this origin thing was a priority. I think actually we craft the swords into the new swords quite a lot of the time.
I may have had one too many.
you may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty. Better get back to work anyway. After I walk this off.
Hang on, I thought they're talking to British.
5?
One too many is sleeping like on the street.
Thanks.
We had a friend at work do that. And we all missed him as well. It was like, because you don't want to leave somebody on the fucking street. But he's fine. But like, Christ, he's like, it's like 9 foot tall as well. But like, he drinks. He was on Guinness, and he can drink that like water. Yeah, Christ, like potent potable made from honey collected in northern territories. Is that the bus shop? But yeah, British drinking culture is not great. Why the fuck is there a quest here?
Of course they will. It's just a big quest.
It's the if you remember the night out, you haven't had a proper night out. Here's all our junk from ending all these side quests. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 left still. This motherfucker. Making amends. I am aware that there are matters of great import which demand your attention. I should find yourself for the moment, but you visit me in the shelves. I might ask a single favour. Is from concerning His Highness Prince Dion.
It's usually me making demands of Hippocrates.
It's fair enough.
I wonder what this is about.
Okay, this music might be too dramatic. Now I'll teleport back for him.
Say what you will.
How much time do I have? It's only almost 1. I could stay up for a couple of hours. Do you want to finish this game?
What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps?
I'll try
Those
that.
have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, we probably don't want this song playing in the,
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in Sambrak.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she kept a record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Oilerfeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
Off we go then. Thank you.
Miss Shirley says your books made quite an impression on the children.
Do you think Sid will tell us about his adventures in Ash?
This is the most dramatic walk through this building ever. Hang on, I should be walking, shouldn't I?
I hear that you traveled to Ash, Sid. Did you by any chance recover the names of my fallen friends?
I did. Yes.
There you go.
If I may, the bearer registry.
Put this down, shall I?
The director was a brute.
I'm gonna grab my drink.
He got no worse than he deserved.
The registry was all I found beneath the tree. There was no sign of a body. Nor any record of what happened to the children after the orphanage closed.
I pray that at least some of them survived. All their names are here. The ones we lost. My friends. My light in those dark times. I can still remember their faces. Like it was yesterday. Children who were taken from their bunks in the morning. Never to return. No explanation ever offered.
They'd be happy to know that you survived, Herman.
But why did I make it out alive, when so many others died in that awful place?
It's not your fault. And blaming yourself won't bring them back. Honor their memory. See that their names live on. That way, at least. They're never truly gone.
Thank you. Sid, I'm going to write a book. An account of the horrors of Badbach, and the spirit of those its custodians sought to crush. All of Valisthea will know of our suffering, and in the name of those I lost, I will not let it happen again.
Neither will I.
These records would have been buried for all eternity, were it not for you.
So, sometimes, like, some of these backstories are, like, kind of bleak and miserable, and, oh, you've done us the small kindness because of my dark past. Sometimes it rings a little hollow, because the thing I had to do this quest was to go to a location and go, big flame, attack, sword, swing, yeah, boom. And that is why my sad history has come to I don't know, it just doesn't... I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I think anime has a bit of a tone problem.
Thank you.
It works better in Nier because Nier explicitly hits, although Nier is kind of horny on main, but like its stories like are going to be a little bit bleak, and the fact that it has this little shine in the dark works sort of better. It's better at establishing. It's a mean game Nier as well, but it's better with its tone. This is all over the fucking place because obviously quite a lot of it is you fighting giant monsters and go like the song they're playing in the background. It wants to be many things. Okay. Is this? No, there's one fucking there as well. Oh, you know what? That's our date, isn't it? So we'll leave that to the last. I've come here to talk to you, Hippocrates. Or should I say... Hippocrates.
Lawsman Hippocrates. I received your note.
Ah, yes. I expect you're wondering what this is all about.
You spoke of making amends with Dion. But I can't imagine what for.
Then I should begin by telling you that I was once his tutor. This was some years ago, of course, before I joined Sid in his hideaway. At that time, I was counted among the foremost scholars of Oriflamme, and was accordingly invited to the palace to supervise the young prince's education.
I was turning the mic.
To ensure that the future emperor had a firm grounding in, well, everything an emperor should. History, religion, commerce, government. Alas, our time together was cut short when Dion left to join the Dragoons. His studies no longer being deemed necessary. I had not expected to meet with him again, least of all here.
Have you spoken with him?
No, I have yet to find the right moment. His Highness always seems so preoccupied, especially when alone. I would not wish to disturb his ruminations with idle words of greeting. Not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima had him commit in the Dominion.
The guilt weighs heavily on him, I know. But as you say, that was Ultima's doing. Surely you can't blame yourself.
Clive, you had to go on a metaphoric quest to go...
Guilt, but his people's expectations that weighed heavily upon him. And I did nothing to ease that burden. He bore it alone. Until the day he...
But we had to go on a journey of self-discovery and fight Ifrit in his brain space.
That I only ever offered him my wisdom, when what he truly needed was friendship.
I know, you would have been a weird old man. Maybe you didn't need friendship with a weird old man.
Lies not only on his shoulders, but on mine.
I see. I'm ready to help you in any way that I can.
Then I beg that you bring me a wild wyvern tale. Apothecaries across the ages agree that even to glimpse such a flower is to be granted inner solace.
A giver of advice, yeah, but a friend, that's weird.
Truth to be found where even the most outlandish opinions align.
Well, it can't hurt to try. Where can I find this flower? And how will I know it?
Oh, are we getting the white flower?
Cultivated wyvern tales before, I trust. The lily-white blossoms from whose roots the poisonous ink for the brand is distilled. Well, those which grow differ only in their purple hue.
It's the one the king keeps carrying around. The flower means the it's a metaphor for the people.
Show the environment in which they are raised, the deeper the colour. There is a waterfall in Rickmal's roost across the strait, where the flowers once grew in abundance. Whether they still survive there, I know not. But try as I might, I can find no likelier location.
It's all right. I'll find you a wyvern tail one way or another.
Thank you, Clive. And please, be safe.
I mean, we have murdered quite a lot of innocent creatures in this game. I like that our final 2 quests are to find flowers. I know, obviously, flowers are quite important to Japanese. They all have, like, meanings. But, like, that's also true in, like, other countries as well. But, like, you know, British games don't put flowers in their computer games and important things. It feels more important to the Japanese. You know, I don't know, because I've never been to a flower shop, but I know they do this still. You go to a flower shop, you can be like, what do daisies mean? It means you like daisies. Cool. Give me a bunch of those, please. Actually, nobody's ever asked for fucking daisies. You know what I mean? What do roses mean? They mean that you can afford roses. Cool. I'll have one. That's all I can afford. What do daffodils mean? It means you have remembered another name for the flower. Good luck. Good for you. It's the Angry Gap. I'd like a flower, please. There you go. Keep the change. Please come again. I hate the service of the Angry Gap, but the prices can't be argued with. Well, you don't have to shout back, but it just feels right. Do I use the machine? Yes, you can. Thanks. It's a... I was talking to friends at work because I assume America has this as well. We've got our cards. You go. I'll have some fish and chips, please. Will you be playing by card? Yes, because everyone pays everything by card, and you go bloop bloop. Having a conversation about those. I remember there was chip and pin, which is what they're called nowadays. We just call them cards. Where you had to remember. There was advertising for like, you've got to remember your chip and pin. Remember your pin. This is how we're doing everything nowadays. And there was this kind of weird period where not all shops had it, where you had to. But like in a little period before, you could hand over your card, and I did it, and they were like, "Oh, there's no signature on the back of this card," and I like, "Can I? Well, it's my card. I can sign the card in front of you." And yeah, here's a pen. Okay, I've signed the card. I'll sign that piece of paper that says I've got the thing. And I was telling people at work, and people were like, "Sometimes I forget how old you are, John." And it's like, yeah, it's because like lots of people reminisce about when you could smoke in pubs, but like pre-card times, I like there's one of the lines where people are like, wait, what? Yeah, we used to have to like either have the money on us, but for like a year or so there was a wonderful time where you could hand over your card. They had it for 5 minutes and you had to prove it was your card by using a signature, which, I mean, you have the card, you could just copy the signature. Like, in fact, my dad taught me his signature because he claimed money from the government for me, but he went on holiday, so I had to get my own child benefits, so I had to sign my own cards. My dad might be a mite irresponsible, but and still do. I'm not fighting you. But there is a sketch by Mitchell and Webb.
Seems this place has been flooded twice over.
He's an interesting character.
Purple flowers blooming next to a waterfall. be too hard to find.
What was I going to say? There's a sketch by Mitchell and Webb, and it's about two sets of comedians, Chip and Pit, Fish and Chip, and they're like two hokey, like they're hokey British comedian, wacky like silly comedy comedians, Fish and Chip, and it's about like what was it, pin and pad or something like that. The joke of the sketch is that like they're splitting up, so Chip and Pin is like, what are you gonna do, Chip and Pin? Like, no, I'm ruining the joke. The joke is that Fish and Chip, Chip is leaving Fish, and Pin and Hammer, whatever it is, are splitting up so they can become the new partnership of Chip and Pin. And they're like, it's the new thing. Nobody eats fish and chips anymore. It's all about Chip and Pin. And then it turns out the other partners, the ones that were left, become more famous because they start their sketch with, I miss Chip and Pin. But now you don't have to miss Chip and Pin. And like, they should have just made that a real advert for Chip and Pin, to be honest. It was just a comedy sketch. But like, it's a really specific same time comedy sketch. It's not going to make any sense to like anyone younger. I don't think I've explained it very well, but all it is, and a lot of the charm in that sketch is like pretending to be like a sort of 40 stand-up British pub comedian type person, which is a thing that's not existed. I mean, I'm sure they still do exist, but like the pre-alternative comedians. There's a book by a comedian, I've talked to him loads, by Stuart Lee, and he likes his comedy history as well. He's a real nerd about comedy. So there's a thing called alternative comedy, right, which came about in the 80s. Pre-Bill Hicks, it would have come about, because comedy was very different before then. But the most famous British person who, as one of the pioneers of this new style of comedy, because you get observational comedy as well, which is like, aren't pens funny? There's like a liquid inside, and you have to press it against paper, and then the liquid makes simple. Oh, wow, isn't that strange? That's observational comedy for you there. Streamers do it a lot because you observe things and you make remarks. But alternative comedy is. Observational comedy is a part of alternative comedy. Pre-alternative comedy is my wife, my mother-in-law. She's so tall. How tall is she? She bumps her head on things. Like it's the boomer. We all hate our wives kind of humor. It's rubbish. Even though the impression I'm doing there is like the most famous pre-alternative comedian. I've forgotten his name. Somebody asked him once, like, "Are you being ironic?" Because he was quite racist, and he was smart enough to know that he was quite racist. And people were like, "Are you being ironic? Is there like irony in there?" No, I'm just racist. Like. But you could just get away with saying that you're a racist person, and they were like, fine for that guy. I mean, he's dead now, like, he was an old comedian, but he was quite famous. Anyway, the point I'm making, what's his name? Billy Colony is, like, Britain's, like, most famous, like, alternative comedian. Like, and obviously he doesn't really do stand-up anymore. That's from, like, 4 years ago. But, like, the sort of, knock, knock, who's there? My wife. No, now that sounds like I was doing a different. It doesn't matter. My point is, the whole like you tell a series of jokes comedy is what they were sort of riffing off, and I just wanted to talk about it. There's a comedian called Lee Evans, and I don't think he's particularly good. He's okay. He was known for just being absurdly energetic on stage and doing all this physical comedy and just sweating buckets while doing it. But one of his jokes is, "My mother-in-law." It's quite right, really, and like he doesn't tend to do like that sort of like alternative stuff, but like that's how like fucking pervasive the my mother-in-law jokes was. That Lee Evans was quite a funny joke for him to just be like, yeah, she's fine. He's got quite a squeaky voice. It's really well. I assume it's a sort of religious thing as well. You just have to stick with a lot. You're not allowed to get divorces and stuff. It's a really weird comedy frame. So it is a pretty good reminder of how fucking bad things used to be, because you know, lots of people will be like, "Oh, back in the olden days where things are good," and it's like, yeah, not for everyone.
They are. Might as well pick enough for a bunch, I suppose.
Bunch of flowers. That's me. I've forgotten her name now. Trans comedian Eddie Izzard, but she doesn't call. She says she's fine with being called Eddie Izzard because that's what everyone's known as for like 30 years. But I will quote Eddie Izzard a lot, and probably have done without saying so. But bunch of flowers, also famous alternative comedian. Right. Bumped. We'll hand this in. We'll do the Jill one last. I can't remember her name, I'm afraid. I went the wrong way. I don't know why this is the one thing I just don't have the patience to do. A new day. I'm not so foolish to believe a single shaming hand of the tongue's urgent to spend a lifetime of hatred built but in one's heart. Just what pot cannot be claimed by reminding that the crime takes every persistence more than stiff price to the better life, more than that takes fortitude and courage. It's gonna be sad, quite lovely. Okay, whatever. It is a little extra. We're going to need some contrast for when I do the final quest. So let's...
He's here, my tail.
Oarsman, I found the flowers you were looking for.
You did?
I think I did.
Records suggested the wyvern tail was first cultivated for the purpose of distilling a purple dye from its petals. However, when the tinted blooms were discovered to lose their hue over time, gardeners of Erletharsen made a fateful decision to investigate the practical properties of the roots instead.
You did indeed. My dear boy, thank you.
You wanted to make Dion a gift of one, did you not? Shall I invite him to join us?
Oh, I don't...
It's no trouble. I'll go and fetch him.
I'd be really weirded out if an old tutor just turned up and be like, "Hey, I wanted to say hi. Fuck are you?" I had to go to my grand's funeral, like 10 years ago now. But the vicar, like it's the only time we go to a church's funerals and stuff, and it's the only time our family ever gathers. But the vicar's just like, "Hello, John. I remember you from when you were like 7. I'm like, "How the fuck do you remember?" I did not say that, obviously. I was very respectful because obviously but like, just knew me quite well. Like I don't know how old I must have been when she told me. Before 10, I know we're quite distinctive as a family, but like, I don't know how people remember, like. Because I've always been like, how you wouldn't remember that, but now every so often I have to go, that one person did. Saw me in a crowd, like, I know you. I don't know, yeah, because you wouldn't know me. You were a tiny wee child at the time, but I know you.
Your Highness, would you do me the honor of accompanying me?
No. It is time, then.
At a funeral, you've got to, there's a set of rules that you have to obey anyway, so it's like, oh, thank you very much for your...
Our Lordsman has something he'd like to give you.
Master Harpocrates.
You get to be sad and quiet, so...
I dare not show my face before him. Not after everything I have done. I have taken countless innocent lives. And ruined countless more. All because I was weak.
Although I have been in a church before, I think it was before a wedding, and I was like, it's the vicar is talking, or the priest, he'll be a vicar probably, and I'm like, there's a lot of God in this, isn't there? And having somebody go, "Not now, John."
I have sworn to atone for my crimes or die in the attempt. But were I to meet with him again, and see in his eyes what I have become.
There was like quite a lot of Jesus being spoken on.
My resolve might falter.
Then that is all the more reason to do it.
There's just a little bit more Jesus than I was expecting.
Test your resolve.
There's none, I won't lie.
Prove to yourself and to him how strong it truly is.
You are right.
I've learned to respect if somebody says it's like there's a couple of people who are good at it who are like, yeah, not now. Like, I've just learned to respect. Okay, their judgment is probably sound. I'll be quiet. This is not a time for like just thinking about things. Do not think about things. There is a flow, and you go with it today. Okay, fair enough.
My gratitude. Very well then. Take me to him.
Now is not the time for a tiny act of rebellion. Fuck our system! John, we're getting married. Please don't. I wasn't planning on doing anything disruptive. This is my brain wanders. I'm just... it's like with this. I paused it. I paused the wedding on my controller. I was like, and then that's a thing. And they're like, no, we just sit quietly, please. Okay.
Even now, I hesitate to approach him. What must he think of me?
You'd be surprised.
I appreciate he was a live-in tutor, right? He probably knew him quite well. I still think this is a really weird conceit right here, though.
Master Harpocrates, pray, accept my apologies for leaving your tutelage before my studies were complete. Your lessons opened my mind to a world quite unlike the one I had imagined from within the gilded confines of the palace. And I shall be forever grateful for the efforts you made to enlighten me.
Lift up your head, Your Highness. The deeds of youth require no apology. That you took the time to visit me says much about the man you have become. Now, there is something I would like to show you.
Is that a wyvern tail? The color is unfamiliar to me.
Because it is unique to those found in the wild. Something in the harsh environments in which they grow lends them this striking hue. Their roots are indistinguishable from those of their hothouse cousins.
Striking hue was my nickname in school.
The difference is immediately apparent. In this flower, I see you, Your Highness. Its roots were the roots of a wyvern tail, with all that implies.
No, it's not. I just thought it would be funny to say.
Do not define it. Just as yours do not define you. I want you to have it, that it might remind you of this truth.
No flower!
Master Harpocrates, I would ask of you a service. Keep your gift until I have fulfilled my duty to the realm, for only then shall I be deserving of it.
As you wish, Your Highness. I shall await your return.
I mean, flowers don't last that long, right? After they've been plucked. Probably a reason why his dad had to get them on plates.
Our roots do not define us. No wonder my stepmother didn't like him.
Wait, what? How would they have ever met? He was in the original Hideaway. Hang on, what's the time? He was literally 13. Okay, hang on. They would have had to have met. No, there was time. She was. I guess, but like when I just matter. Fuck, I don't care.
Reuniting me with memories I had thought long lost. I shall not forget this.
Thank you, Clive. Were it not for you, I fear I might never have found the right moment to speak with him. Not to mention the wyvern tales. I shall plant their seeds, that I might not disappoint His Highness upon his return.
I hope the soil in the hideaway is to their liking.
Why, these flowers bloomed in the bleak, black wastes of Waloed. I'm sure Nigel's yard will suit them to a T. When it comes to expressing one's gratitude, I find that words are seldom sufficient.
Here's some junk for your wall.
What's this?
A Stolas quill. Or more precisely, my Stolas quill.
You need that for your Stolas.
That an owl's feathers are steeped in the wishes it hears over its long lifetime. All those words just waiting to pour out onto the page.
Most of the feathers being, I wish that fucking owl would stop hooting, I'm trying to sleep.
So consider this my wish for you. That one day you may put down your sword and pick up that pen.
I died well quick fighting with a pen.
When that day comes.
It's not deadlier than a sword at all, I've tried.
A lot to write about. Thank you, Harpocrates. It shall have pride of place in my chamber.
I'll put it with the rest of the junk that people give me. Won't lie, didn't think I'd spend 4.5 hours. Ooh, what the fuck's this? Kick of Flare! Very nice. Gift for the very first Emperor of Sunbreak to his infant son. The ring has graced the handle of every dominant Bahamut ever since. If absorbed from the icon over the years, it does stuff. But, and also, lest we forget, we do actually have one mark left.
Enthroned in sable skies, chaos in from diverse hands a dawn is spun in crimson sin unfurls.
I'll get knocked down, but up and get up again. You know, we're gonna keep it down. Yeah, I know that one. It's a banger. Where are we going? Drinks whiskey, drink. He drinks a lot. Good drink. Garnick Walood. Where is Garnick? Go faster, cursor. Thank you.
Good girl. Enough of you, are there?
Thank you again.
Caution, brother.
Ocean brother. That's one, brother. Banana, eating a banana. Where is my banana? Eat someone ate banana. It's Gizmaluk. Up along with him. I was going to use the burst and I forgot. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Again, I could have put down the thing. Ah, it's Giza Maluke. I just realised the name. It's from Final Fantasy 9. But, what was I going to say? Giza Maluke did not have boobs in Final Fantasy 9. Right, let's take away that mark. I think it's the final quest. I don't know if we've got all the junk. And obviously this might be a quest line, but... it's way over there. I'll walk through the city this time.
The garrison today.
It's quite a palaver, eating a banana. Can't think of anything else that rhymes. Hello, beds.
Come on. Fly, Ambrosia.
Yeah, it's only half one. I don't know how long the final dungeon is. I think it might not be that long. I think I heard that. Why are you so much faster than me?
The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
Banana. Program called Asana. Okay, nobody's gonna know what Asana is. It is a real thing though. Didn't make it up.
See, boy.
A cowman.
Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out.
I have slain thine enemies. Now we can take Jill to the field of flowers.
That was harder than I expected.
No, it wasn't. And a field of flowers. And man, it's taken us some hours.
It was worth it. They're beautiful.
You had to fight a cow.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on. Let's go.
While we see the towers. All the torn cows. You see, there's a...
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
Right, I'm hoping if we go into our room... So no marks, good. There's only one piece of junk missing. It is neat seeing it all stored up, I guess. There are 3 pieces of junk missing. But I want to finish the game.
Jill. There's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
It's all weird they took on a date after a... Yes, after the scene where they fell in love.
This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you, Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped. So lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling.
Widogo.
Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm,
Do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small.
So full of side
I need
quests.
some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have.
Yeah.
And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
Some of these side quests should have just been mandatory. And then a lot of the others should have just been deleted, possibly.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure.
Oh. Right, time to go into space. It's not. I'm pretty sure we have 2 side quests left. What the fuck is that in the background?
We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
You know what? Like, romantic movies. I haven't seen a romantic movie, but I reckon what they're missing is whenever like an emotional scene happens, like, yes, Bobby Smith of the Second, I love you as well. You've gained some experience. That's what the romantic movies are missing. There we go. We've improved our diamond dust cooldown. That's actually really good. Snow Daisy Garland. I'm gonna actually put that immediately on. Oh, that's cool. This happened with Joshua as well. Is Josh here now? Maybe I have to teleport somewhere. Oh, I would have. Fuck's sake! I would have done the hub quest first if I'd known that. Genji gloves, Genji gloves, Genji gloves. We don't need that much, however. Some of them might be post-game stuff, actually. Yeah, I'm seeing no more quests. So, some of them might just require Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that there are those pillars that I haven't done, and I'm not doing the pillars, they're too difficult. And maybe some of the New Game Plus. I'll be right back, and then I'll go to Origin.